Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Slow Blink Anime Podcast. My name is Phil.
I'm Candace.
And today we're going to be talking about another My Hero Academia episode from Season 4. It's episode 80. And what's it called, Candace?
It's called Relief for Licensed Trainees.
That's right. And just a quick summary of this episode. So we're continuing off from last week where Bakugo and Shoto and Yaorashi and Kami were all together, and they're about to fight the students, the elementary students that they were supposed to be helping out. Mm-hmm. So we get the continuation of that, and then we get part B of this episode, which is kind of like a mini story between...
Yeah, it's kind of like just to fill in the last 15 minutes of the 12-15 minutes of the episode. And so a lot of the main stuff that was happening was the first half. Mm-hmm. Of it. So obviously...
Yeah, a lot of the major points happen in that first half of the episode, I thought.
So what was it? So the training.
Yeah, they were supposed to win over these kids' hearts, and then, of course, we start off right at the beginning where they attacked, like, Bakugo, and you can see where his mask got torn off by one of the students, and then they were, like, teasing him, like, you couldn't dodge it, right? And they were explaining, after the kids were attacking the UA students... Mm-hmm. And they were making like observations that this is kind of like a theory that they have in this universe that as the quirks are being bred together and people mixing, the quirks are becoming more powerful
and more uncontrollable. Yeah. And obviously, I guess the main concern is if they become villains instead of heroes, and so that makes it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just
it's not just helping the heroes, helping the villains also. This theory that, with the quirk development, which is actually pretty cool because it kind of showed us the difference between, because President Mike, he even said, like, I don't know where they're, like, at this age, I wasn't able to perform at this level as these elementary kid students are.
Yeah. So basically I think what they're implying is that these kids can potentially become very strong when they grow old, because if they're that strong when they're little kids, and they don't even know how to properly use their quirks, they just attack. So how are they going to be when they grow up? So that's what I'm kind of getting from it.
And I think part of this exercise too was to kind of guide them in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Gang Orko was saying that it's helping out the teacher students, because you can see how, like, she was actually struggling and she would break down into tears when she was not able to control these students. And you can imagine what the classroom would be like from this little experience that the UA students got to interact with them with. So I think this is a good, it's helping the UA students and these elementary students and kind of guiding them down the right path.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And so we were kind of figuring out, on our previous episode, we were kind of figuring out how they're going to go about it.
Yeah.
And so we finally saw, and what they did was, how did they do it? It's like,
well, first, they used the attacks that the students were throwing at them.
Yeah, to kind of like, they used it to their... to their advantage. It's like they turn things around using the little kids' quirk.
Yeah.
By combining it with their own quirk. And so the kids, all of them attacked at the same time at them. But obviously, I mean, they're not going to do anything with the UA students. And so instead of it, I mean, they didn't just defeat the students, but instead they kind of showed the kids what they can do with their quirks if it was done right. I think, anyway.
Yeah.
And so what they did is I think Kami started it with her illusion.
Oh, yeah.
So she created this illusion of like a galaxy, or what do I call that?
It was like the...
Not galaxy. Yeah, the Northern Lights. Yeah. It wasn't not galaxy. But yeah, it's a Northern
It was like
Light.
a night sky though, and you could see the stars.
And so Kami did that, and then who else did something? Todoroki.
Todoroki was building stuff
with his
out of ice and making slides and stuff.
Yeah.
And Yaorashi was using his hurricane quirk.
Yeah.
And was like taking him all the way up to the slide and giving him a place to go down and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then
they were all working together.
Yeah, and then so Bakugo worked with the leader of the kids, and he talked to the kid, and he basically told the kid to. Basically, Bakugo is preventing the kid from becoming like him. You know, because Bakugo didn't learn anything until now. Like him in like manners way, right? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, not because he's trying to. You can see where the character development is happening with Bakugo. He's not just like a one note character, or he's kind of getting out of that because you can see where he's kind of wanting to guide the students too. Yeah. Because if we remember the old Bakugo, he just hates everything, attacks everything, blows up everything, and he just thinks of everybody as this low life, weak people, and he thinks of himself as superior and the strongest one, and that's basically what the kid, like the way the kid thinks as well. It's like he thinks that he looks down at everybody and he thinks that everybody's weak and he's the strongest one. He's basically kind of like Bakugo. And so Bakugo's trying to set an example. Yeah, a good example for the kid. And so what did Bakugo say to the kid? It was just like encouraging him and saying you don't need to look down on people. That was the main thing he was saying. And that's something that Bakugo did in the past before. And if we got that flashback too where it was all Bakugo's idea to make the kids not just defeat the kids so they would be demoralized from that. He said we need to make it so it's something they're enjoying and they think it's cool and awesome. So they're excited to be a part of it, and it's not just them getting beat down by these older students. And then Bakugo was like, listen to your senpai, and he was like, that's when he got Yaorashi to take him up the slide, and you can see the change in his face. He started having fun with everything too. And I wanted to say too that I was wrong about the quirk that he didn't have. We didn't even get to see his quirk if he had one. I think that was a little too much. Yeah, I was kind of reaching, but I just wanted to say that I was way off on that. I feel like that kid was just the most hateful out of all the other kids. Yeah, and he was really setting the vibe though through that. Yeah, but he didn't control. He wasn't controlling anybody. He just hated everything. Okay. Okay. It's okay. So, of course, they passed with flying colors. Everybody, and it's you can see that Gang Orca was like encouraging them at the end too, and we saw that he actually does care about the students and he loves the students. But he's got to put on that. Yeah, that facade. Yeah, he was praising them, and then he started being like trying to act. What do you call it? Like all like I don't care. Yeah. Like you damn kids. It's funny. Yeah, but it was a sweet moment between them, and then so everybody's walking out, and you can see that Yaorashi and Shoto and Bakugo and Kami were all walking together, and then they were saying Yaorashi was telling Shoto he likes him like as a person. Yeah, and like they can get along, and you know you can see where they were bonding now from this exercise and probably through this whole training program that they've been doing. And they get outside, and then who's talking out there, or who's all out there? All Might, Endeavor. I mean, basically those are the two main people. Yeah. The other people I kind of didn't care. And then the teacher from the other school. Yeah, and they mentioned that there's going to be more of what do you call it? Like the two schools are gonna work together. Yeah, like more collaboration. Yeah, between the two. So I feel like we're gonna see more of the other school, Shiketsu. More of the Shiketsu, instead of just the UA students. Yeah. So they mentioned that, and then after that, the main highlight of everything is when Todoroki talked to Endeavor. Yeah, this is probably my favorite moment from the episode. Yeah, me too. I think kind of like everything was kind of set up just for the two of them to start talking. Yeah, because through that, when they were all doing the training inside, you can see when All Might was talking to Endeavor, and he was saying like it should be obvious what it means to be the strongest hero or something like that. Yeah. And then we get outside, and Shoto goes up to Endeavor, and then Endeavor says, "I'm proud of you."
and he tries to like pat him on the head.
But he, Todoroki.
Yeah, he's still kind of
dodged him, and I mean, obviously he's not just gonna accept his love.
Yeah, it's gonna be a process.
Sure. After all these years, but Endeavor was trying finally to show some fatherly love.
Yeah,
and so he finally says, "I'm proud of you, son." Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You okay?
I'm fine. Just keep talking.
Okay, so
and then
I know that was a very emotional moment.
Yeah, it was.
And even though I wasn't looking at you, I know that a tear is falling from your cheeks.
It's a big moment for you.
Look at you right now. Yeah. So it was a big moment. And so what makes it even worse, or I guess better, is when...
Then Endeavor said after that, he's like, I want to be a hero that you can be proud of too.
Do not cut this part.
Yeah, that got me good. And then you can see Yaorashi was watching this whole back and forth between them.
And I guess he didn't realize, or he didn't expect Endeavor to say those words. Because
the only kind of how he sees Endeavor in his head is just that
the
real
mean,
cold,
no
glaring,
care,
not caring about him. And then you can see him being a human with his son right there, and opening up and being more willing to try.
Just to be a better hero and better dad.
And just in general, a better person for everybody.
Yeah.
And you can see he's really trying to go to be the next symbol of peace. Yeah. And I guess just working with Shoto too throughout the license, and then seeing Endeavor act like this, he goes up to him and he's like, "I'm rooting for you." And I guess he punched himself in the face right before that. Yeah,
before that, when he was watching, I guess he kind of like, I guess he's trying not to be tough, so he punches his face and then kind of swallows his pride, and then he goes to Endeavor and tells him, what did he tell him?
He's like, "I'm cheering for you, I'm rooting for you," something like that.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
Was it, or is it the other way? Did Endeavor say that to him? Never mind.
No, Yaorashi said it to him. And then Endeavor's like, "Thank you." It's like, "Your face is bleeding." Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But then him having to do that was just a huge development.
Yeah, it was a huge change.
It's complete 180 from how he saw Endeavor and what he wanted for him as a hero. Mm-hmm. And that was just like one of the biggest moments in this episode for sure. And for Yaorashi, because you can see how he's everybody. This episode was a huge development episode for a lot of characters, and it really showed there with Yaorashi and how he was acting, because that's not the person we saw in season 3.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not the same person.
Definitely different. Yeah. But so we saw that whole emotional part of the episode, and then. So they start walking, out. And then there's this panel where it shows Todoroki smiling.
Yeah.
And I think that was
another sweet moment.
Yeah, very, very heartfelt.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's still his dad.
Yeah, and then he knows that. I mean, everybody can see how sincere Endeavor was, because his facial expression was even kinder. Mm-hmm. You can just feel it. Like, it wasn't something forced. It was, he finally just kind of woke up and, hey, I need to change. So that was I think that was the main highlight of the entire episode.
I really liked that too. And then the one thing I noticed too was the coloring in the background, where it was all like, it was a sunset. So it wasn't just a glaring sun, like a huge heat. It was like a nice, warm, soft light. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's like reflecting how Endeavor was, how he's not just like this like huge, bright, powerful guy. He's just he's being more it's a warm light that he's giving off, not just huge intensity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that first half of the episode was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then next part was a little bit slower.
Yeah, I feel like it's just... They just had to create something to finish the entire episode.
Yeah. Well, I actually checked to see if this was in the manga, and it was. So it was canon, this whole second half with Aoyama.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really creepy and weird.
Well, you thought for a second that...
I thought he was like a bad guy or something.
That he's been a bad guy all this time.
Yeah, because like the way they were presenting it too, and this he's like, I know. Like, it's just out of nowhere. He's like, I know. And then Deku's freaking out. Mm-hmm. And then the whole scene where him going... I guess Deku's not on the first floor. Like, they're on one of the levels in the building. And Aoyama's right beside him. So he had to, like, cross over the balcony to get to his balcony. Mm-hmm. And then, like, that was really weird. Like, that made it seem...
Like, he's
really
just,
creepy.
Yeah.
And then Deku was awake the whole time. You could just see him sweating more and more. But, it turns out Aoyama was just, I guess he was feeling kind of, I don't know if it's like handicapped is the right word by his quirk, or cheated. Mm-hmm. Like he was put in an unfair situation, and he thinks Deku's in that same situation by their bodies not being compatible with the quirk that they were given. Mm-hmm. Because he shoots laser beams out of his stomach, but then the more he shoots out, the more in pain he becomes. Mm-hmm. And then we get that explanation from him. And saying how go ahead.
He wears the belt too, to kind of control. But, what do you say? Like, if the belt is not on, it kind of...
just leaks out.
Yeah, part of the beam leaks out.
And then he said, like, even since he was young, he had that on. He had to have that attachment. Which was kind of, like, a sad moment for him. Because we didn't, like, we thought he was just, like, this jokey character, but behind the scenes, he's dealing with all this.
Yeah. So, I guess it's kind of like a little spotlight for him. Mm-hmm. Just something new for one of these side characters. Yeah.
And I really hope he's able to develop his quirk more, or...
Because, I mean, all this time, we've only seen him shoot a beam.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think we've seen him really utilize his quirk into, something more creative or, I don't know, I guess useful.
And the only other thing I can remember is when they were doing, in season 3, when they were doing the training, he was like, she shot that beam up into the sky so all the UA students knew where to meet up. Oh. That's the only other time I've seen him use it, like, kinda effectively.
Yeah.
But I really do hope, like, later, I don't know if this season or later in the future, we get some kind of progress with this quirk. But that's pretty much it. I guess he ended up opening up to Deku and kind of explained the whole thing that we just said. Mm-hmm. And we ended up... Okay.
Deku was kind of freaked out at first.
Yeah, he was freaking out.
I mean, obviously. But, I guess it turns out it's nothing too serious. Yeah. How did Deku react? I'm trying to remember.
Well, he was, of course, like more... Well, at first he was freaked out, and then after he explained it, he was like more caring and understanding.
Yeah, and then towards the end, Deku did say that, now they're closer. Mm-hmm. Or, now they're friends. Or...
Mm-hmm. I guess they bonded over that.
Yeah,
it's like they share more, that.
Yeah. She and him have a common thing now. Yeah.
That was it. We ended up we got a little recap on Eri, how her horn got smaller, and she still hasn't able to have like any real visitors because they don't know if it's gonna
her quirk, it might just
go out of control.
Yeah. And also I don't know if something significant, like you said, her horn got smaller when she got healed from her fever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like, is it like every time she gets sick, the horn gets smaller? Does that mean if the horn is gone, the quirk is gone? Because apparently the quirk comes from the horn. Mm. And so I don't know.
Or maybe the size of the horn determines how powerful it is. That's what I was thinking. But we still don't know anything about it yet. And hopefully, because I saw that Mirio and Deku, I don't know if they were in there talking to Eri, but they were together, and I saw them looking in the same direction. in the preview for next week. But I hope we kind of get some more
update
on Eri for sure. And kind of seeing where her quirk is and like if they've made any kind of progress to it.
Yeah, and they also mentioned there's gonna be a festival coming, so that's gonna be another arc, I guess. So I guess it's gonna be a big thing. Obviously, in a lot of festivals, I always have this prediction that festivals don't always go the way it's supposed to go, because there's always the villains are gonna pop up here and there, and the festival's never gonna finish how it's supposed to be. And so I feel like we're gonna see some villains that's gonna try to interrupt the festival, and then they're gonna have to fight, and we'll see how that turns out.
And I think in the preview too, at the very end, they showed somebody new that I didn't recognize, and I'm thinking that might be the villain for this arc.
And I'm still waiting on that character with wings. I'm still waiting on that character.
I think he'll probably show up soon if he's in the credits.
He needs to show up soon because I want to know who he is and what he is. Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's it. What did y'all think about the episode? Did y'all see? Oh yeah, and then Night Eye's funeral too. That was another thing. That was another sad. So what did y'all think about this the kind of development with Endeavor? Do y'all think he's making good strides right now? And is he making good strides? That's pretty much the only thing I can think of. And is he going to be working with All Might more? And I guess getting advice from him too? Because it seems like All Might gives advice to anybody who's willing to take it. And Endeavor is definitely opening up to that idea.
Can I just say, now that we mentioned Night Eye's funeral, like, I feel like they should have dedicated more screen time on Night Eye's funeral. It's just kind of like this quick, 5-second exposure on Night Eye's funeral. I feel like they should have shown more of it. Since Night Eye was such a big part of this season.
I guess they just didn't want to drive it home so much because they did it in the episode where he did die. They did it so well. I don't know if they wanted to keep bringing that up for us.
I guess so.
They're trying to liven up this arc, I guess.
I guess so.
They don't want to focus too much on the...
So with the new festival, they're going to try to liven it up.
Yeah, that's what I hope so.
Okay, so I think that's all we have to say for the new My Hero Academia episode. Thank you for watching.
All right, and we'll see y'all next time.